Hello and welcome to the second edition of this new season of Grey Areas. My name is Jason Adams and I'm joined as always by the great man himself, G. Farrugia, Melbourne Cup place-getting owner. How are you, my friend?
Good, mate. How are you?
I'm
Happy
well.
Friday.
Well, it's been a big week, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
Phoenix,
It was a big
I'm
Saturday.
stuffed. You sort of take a deep breath and think, as good as it was to build up to it and go through the excitement of which it was, it's nice to sort of be over the hill.
We are limping towards Christmas, let's be honest, aren't we?
Yeah. So good to get another episode underway. And look, we've introduced podcasting in many different ways over the time, haven't we? Whether it be the Pride of Maltese Magician, whatever you want to call yourself. John Henry's got involved at times. We've had the George of the Jungle intro. I tell you what, there's one way you just might not want to kick off a podcast from our friend Jimmy Vandermark during the week on the Green Light On podcast. Have a listen to this, for Christ's sake.
Had a bit of a lurgy through the week as well, so the voice at the moment not that good, a little bit congested, a little bit like the Monash Freeway at peak hour, I reckon would be the way to describe my sort of nostril passage at the moment as I welcome you, Mickey. I'm fresh off doing a poo, which I like to do as well before we kick off a pod. How are you, mate?
Doing a poo to kick off a pod.
Absolutely extraordinary.
That is extraordinary stuff, isn't it? We knew he was left field, but I think this is next level.
We've all been lucky enough to work with Jim in the last couple of years, and he is capable of throwing out that sort of comment, which is incredible. Look, his bowel movements are obviously important to the greyhound industry, and
bowel movements not comparable to the rest of us, given he's a V8 vegetarian.
Yeah, he needs to end that. I've been against that for a very long time. That kebab he had at the Meadows, where it was just with salad and cheese. What was that?
Yeah, well, I've seen him have dinner here at the Meadows, where it's been a few hot jam donuts, a chocolate mousse, and a can of Coke. So, if that's the diet of a vegetarian, it takes.
Well, that's what I mean. How is that less,
that would get
more
through
healthy
your bowels
than a piece of protein?
That would carve through your bowels.
Oh, goodness gracious.
So, look, we haven't started off the podcast in the same way Jim has. We've been in the room and fit and firing, ready to go. Now, we mentioned the Phoenix last Saturday night. It was a big event, wasn't it? And the rain come down at times, but as soon as the rain sort of disappeared, it didn't felt like it ever came. And, of course, the people were everywhere, and it really had that vibe of which we've grown to love about the Phoenix.
We've spoken about this now. It is clearly the best night of racing for the year now. It's just taken over. I think the Melbourne Cup had a period there, Jace, where it was the biggest. Obviously, the Phoenix is only 5 years old, but it's just the music, just the activations. As I said, I had about 15 mates out in the marquee. They love it. Every single year they want to go to it now. So the problem is I'm sober and I have to drive them home because I'm usually working. So that was a fun ride home, but we got there.
Well, that's the worst part, isn't it? Because we wrap up at about 11 o'clock and all of a sudden everyone's in full throttle and we think we're so far behind here. There is no hope of catching up.
They've already had an undercoat, proper liquor paint, and we're there struggling. But no, it was a fantastic night of racing. I think the race itself, I think a lot of people were keen on Deadly Avenger at a nice price, so he got the job done. He was fantastic.
He was great. And look, as we sort of touched on last week, so often in these big feature races, you can look back at them in hindsight and think they were probably always going to get that clear run, and it sort of felt like that's the way it played out. And as soon as he got clear, I mean, Ariza Sparkles, personally, I think she was pretty poor in the way she finished off the race from what we've grown to love about her over the past 6 months, but take nothing away from Deadly Avenger, who's clearly flying, but had the right run to showcase that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you said her run was 30 and 20 odd. I mean, that's not Ariza Sparkles, is it really, at her best? Obviously, is the fastest ever at Wentworth Park for a female. I thought Kenya Mayhem's run was fantastic in second spot as well, and so was accredited. But yeah, take nothing away from the winner. He's a bona fide star at that level, and he just come right at the right time.
Yeah, he did. And Cumbria Jack, of course, started favourite. A lot of hype around him. He was sort of just didn't get away well enough, did he? He had slick splits to contend with on his inside, and it just didn't play out the way that the Connections would have hoped.
Yeah, look, for those that listen to us on radio, I'm a huge rap for Cumbria Jack. I've seen his efforts in Queensland are amazing, and not to say that he won't ever win a Group 1 outside of that state, but I was against him on Saturday night. I just think there was too many experienced Meadows dogs against him, and I thought that was going to play against him. I've seen too many group races where that happens, Jace, so at the Meadows over 26 years, and I thought this was another perfect example.
Yeah, and one thing you wanted to point out on today's show as well was the comments of Jason Thompson post-race about not only Cumbria Jack, but Deadly Avenger after the contest itself.
Well, we chose the right dog. I mean, all this talk about Cumbria Jack was going to do this, he was going to run 29.20. Look, no, he's a great dog, but he's got to prove he's a great dog. This dog, you don't get gifted a Perth Cup, you don't get gifted a Sandgroper. That Sandgroper had Explicit, it had Good Odds Cobber. Go through and have a look at who was in that race. And this dog is so adaptable. Joe Borg, absolute.
Yeah, Jason Thompson there after winning the Phoenix. I want to get your thoughts on this, Jason, because I liked it. I don't think it's everyone's style, but who cares?
Talking about the Cumbria Jack comments.
I'm talking about the Cumbria Jack comments. I actually agree with what Jason's saying. I think he had to prove himself at the Meadows. I think the Formosas did a fantastic job to get him as fit as they did. But I just think racetrack experience means so much. Did he have a little dig? Yeah, but he just won a Phoenix and sort of had a right to. We talk about sportsmen all the time not being robotic in their answers back from journos. So what's different with greyhound racing? Yeah, as I said, it wouldn't be everyone's style to have a dig right there, but I liked it. Shot against the bow. What do you think?
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think it's theatre, and that's what we want, isn't it? I mean, you put yourself up for it, saying the 2020 comments or whatever it might be, the hype that he carried into it, and that's not his fault. It's not the connection's fault. That was the form that he was bringing into the race as one of Australia's most promising greyhounds. So, yeah, I think we can sometimes be, and this isn't just greyhound racing, this is in all walks of life, a little bit precious. So I think comments like that, and it's just banter. It is just competitive nature of human beings. It's good stuff.
Well, for us in the media, we like content like that because I think you can work a little article around the fact next time Cumbria Jack is up against one of Jason Thompson's greyhounds. I mean, it's fantastic. So, look, I like the comments. I think it would, put people's noses out. Some people in the industry, there's no doubt about it, but I found absolutely nothing wrong with it. And if you're going to peacock after a race, I think we'd all be a little bit like that after winning a Phoenix. Let's be honest. And they did pick the right dog.
Yeah, we loved it. And look, that has been part of the commentary since the race, and a lot of it has surrounded Joe Borg, of course. He was the trainer of Deadly Avenger for every day of his career outside of the past week and a half. And I think that's a pretty important conversation to have about the reality of what the Phoenix brings. Here's what Joe had to say after the race.
And this was a race that we had to get into. Both parties were desperate. We were desperate to get the slot, and this is a slot race, and if you haven't got that ticket, you don't run in it. And Jason put the deal towards us and swallowed a little bit of pride, and
swallowing pride is probably a decent way to put it. And look, for anyone out there thinking it's hard done by, you can come up with that sort of theory, but I think the reality is if you invest $100,000 to be a slot holder in this race, you hold the cards. There is no other way to look at it, in my opinion. If you want to be in the race, you have to basically be dictated by the slot holders. He was the last one selected. He was the last one popping up in the box draw. He's won the race. Everyone is happy, but I think we just got to remind ourselves that the investment of which someone has in this race, they've got to hold the cards in that situation.
Yeah, absolutely. So they said that they would have that dog on the proviso that Jason trains him, obviously. Has there been a little bit of heat around this, has there? Because it's a bit of a mountain out of a molehill, to be honest.
Well, I think people just aren't used to what the Phoenix brings, and we're going to see more of it. I've got no doubt about it. What about you? Because it's not only his situation in Deadly Avenger. There was Cumbria Jack, Ariza Sparkles, who sort of, in one way or another, were relocated to connections of slot holders. So do you reckon we're going to see that more often? It is a bit different, given that he did come from interstate. We've seen a local change of hands here because of the slot holders' interest, but I don't have an issue with it whatsoever.
Not whatsoever. So obviously he's got a really close affiliation with Jason Thompson, and he would have said to him, "I'm buying the slot, and you're going to train the dog." As it worked out, there was a couple of greyhounds who got injured. They probably were going to use one of Jason's themselves, and they improvised. Case closed. Will we see more of it? Probably.
Yeah,
probably.
And I've spoken to Joe, and he's been through a tough week and a bit, not from a racing point of view, but personally. So we wish him all the best. But in terms of the comments that somewhat, and I haven't seen them all of them, are being quite negative. Him, and he said he's spoken to Jason as well. And as you can expect, they could not give a rat's clacker about anyone else in their situation.
Before we close on this, would the dog have won the Phoenix if Joe was training him? Yeah. It probably would
Yeah, I
have been the
think he
exact same
would've, yeah.
result. So yeah, it was just that the slot holder wanted it trained by Jason. Case closed.
Yeah. Anyway, another good addition to the Phoenix. And as we know, it's not too long until the conversations pick up again. We don't have to wait until November next year to start talking about it. This will happen in June, July, when the slot holder applications open. And we might see some new slot holders. We've got a good mate in G Hall who's got some jockeys together, and seems like they're pretty keen.
Have you seen anyone as keen as G Hall to get a slot in the Phoenix?
Not only is he so keen of getting a slot, he is certain he's going to win the race.
Yes, and obviously they have to get accepted and go through a process through the Meadows and get accepted like that. But it would be amazing if you had a giddy-up team and all the media that would entail if they did get a slot. We've got a long way out, but that would be fantastic.
Yeah, all right. So Deadly Avenger, really good there in the Phoenix on Saturday night. Before we go on to some other things that happened on Phoenix nights, a couple of comments that have come in, and I haven't seen these yet, George. I know one of them relates to the darts, which has kicked off the World Championships over the past couple of weeks. It comes from Ryan Vandenberg. Jace, how good were the darts this week? Have you seen any of it, Georgie?
No, I have not. Is
There's
this
been some
my
upsets.
mate, Luke Littler?
Yeah, well, he won the first day, so he's gone through to round 2. But Joe Comito is Italian-Australian, so he's sort of part of your background somewhat.
Same.
He caused a
Mediterranean
massive
area.
upset. He got the chocolate, so he's through.
Really?
So,
What about
it's
my
getting
mate Joey
interesting.
Cena in the wrestling?
Joe Cena.
How's he going?
He got rolled in his last match. And that's another thing. People are so upset. How dare you round out his career on a loss? And we speak about the comments of Thompson. I mean, the bloke of which he fought in Gunther, he needs to be risen for the rest of his career. What difference does it make to
Come on, guys.
Joe Cena if he's to win or lose in his last match? Absolutely nothing.
All I know is Hugo from Sandown pulled me up and said, "Hey, Joey Cena, how are you?" So I'm getting some flack over that.
Yeah, you'll cop that, mate. You'll never live that down. Hey, we've got another comment here from Ash Thompson. Hey, lads, Ash here. Great to have you back. Any intel on Dalwhinnie? Heard he was coming down to Dave Gill and thought he might give without a trace a shake up in the Sale Cup, but no sign of him. Any mail on Dalwhinnie, Georgie?
I thought he was going to the Greenos. That was last I heard, and he raced at Richmond last week. So, look, they've just had a nightmare with dog in terms of injury, haven't they? So, yeah, it'd be great to see him down here. Obviously, we heard the news, Miss Envy was not going for the Sale Cup, so probably without a trace's connection.
So that's been spoken about, that Dalwhinnie will go to the Sale Cup?
Oh, no, I haven't heard that part of it. But I heard that he's definitely with Cal and Jackie. Yeah.
Interesting. Watch this space. All right, let's move on to a couple of other big moments on Phoenix night. Firstly, Kako Magic in the first 600-metre track record. I'm not sure anyone in the world would have thought we'll be kicking off Phoenix night like that.
No, look, I followed this greyhound a little bit. I know I've had some text messages with Stefano in the past, and I know how fast that dog is, but I'm not going to put my hand up and say, yeah, I thought he was going to break a 10-year-old track record. I mean, he was electric. He had to do it from box 6. I think he still did start favourite, but he just cleared them early and was absolutely fantastic. When that clock come up, we thought this is going to be a rocking night.
Amazing. We'll see what he carries forward. But I have heard off the record as well that he received some pretty decent offers for this greyhound, despite him not showing the ability of which he has on Saturday night. Are you aware of what sort of figures? Because he's been pretty relentless in saying no, not for sale.
Are you suggesting I have?
I'm not saying you.
I did make
you might
an
have
offer.
insight.
I did.
Okay.
I did make an offer early in his career, and it was knocked back pretty quickly. And now it's a pretty embarrassing offer. So sorry, Stefano, if you're watching.
Well, congratulations to him. He doesn't only train the dog; he owns it. He bred it. He's had some hardship over the past few years, so couldn't be happier for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Good bloke.
All right, the other track record, the Fall of the Night, came in a heat of the Silver Chief, and it came by a traumatising. We've known for a period of time that he's got a lot of promise, a lot of ability, but it was an acid test on Saturday night, wasn't it? Because he'd been beaten as favourite a couple of times, but boy, oh boy, did he put it together.
I think said on the broadcast that he was on notice for me because he's got all this ability and he sort of hadn't stepped up in big races. I mean, he's only young, but still, that and the Dacey's Rory match race was one that was over within a split second. As soon as Traumatised jumped to the front like that, it was over. And another one to break 12 seconds. So for people that don't know, if you can break 12 seconds running home at the Meadows, you're going pretty elite. And he just done it at all ends. It was
amazing. And let's hear the comments from Jason Thompson, which may or may not have been on Saturday night.
And he's such a strong chaser for this greyhound to trot about 4 lengths under that superb performance.
Yeah, he is a very strong dog. He'd probably be ideally suited at running 550 to 600. Rapid Journey's very fast. Hot Shot's a very quick dog, but I think he's an exception.
Fair to say those comments weren't on Saturday night. They were about Awesome Assassin. But, geez, how's the bling? Bit like you back in your prime with that trackside photo we saw last week.
I'm tipping Jason might regret the earrings as much as I did from that footage you showed last week. Jesus, that's a long time
and
ago,
interviewed by a young Paul Hammond, probably going back to...
Happy Hammond.
When did Awesome Assassin race? Late 90s?
Yeah. 8-time track record holder. If you think about that now, dogs... I know it sounds silly. Dogs don't break track records like they used to. And I always come back to the theory. I mean, how fast can they get? I mean, you're not going to get to zero, are you? I mean, it's becoming few and far between.
Yeah, that's right. And I've got it on good authority that after that interview at Olympic Park, Jace might have ended up at the Tunnel, which was a famous nightclub, going back to...
He wouldn't have been the only one from Olympic Park.
No, I absolutely know that's well and good, that's for sure. Hey, speaking of track records, and we saw the two broken at the Meadows on Saturday night, which have stood for ages. Is there any other records around that you think could be in that ilk that will stand for so long, or even like the old 2888 at Brett Lee at Angle Park may never be broken?
I was going to say that's the one that people always get reminded of. And obviously there's been a track refurb, so it's different times. I'd say probably some of the distance ones, especially of the class of distance dogs we've had recently, they don't seem to be getting close to the track records over both distances. Obviously, you've got to break 42 seconds here at the Meadows and, low 41 seconds at Sandown. It just doesn't happen as often these days, does it?
Yeah.
You? What did you think?
Yeah, the distance ones are going to be hard. I mean, we speak about the depth of stays all the time, and we haven't had an out-and-out freak like a Houdini Boy, Tornado Tears, those sort of dogs. So you can get down to like your 42 flat here at the Meadows or 41-2 at Sandown. It just doesn't happen that often, does it?
No, it does not. So they're probably the ones.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the Silver Chief. And again, a reminder, anyone can get involved in this show. Get involved in the comments, whether that be on YouTube or Facebook. Let us know of any track records that you think might be untouchable long-term or otherwise. Tell us who's going to win the Silver Chief tomorrow night at the Meadows. And it's a ripping race, isn't it? Because we saw some outstanding entertainment last week. We saw some fast dogs lead and plenty of fast dogs catch them as well.
Well, I had a look at your race data, and there were a handful of them that broke that 12 seconds on the run home, namely Whiskey Whiskers and Vista Weird, and also Electrify. They were eye-catching replays for sure, those greyhounds. I believe one of our colleagues, Corey Smith, tweeted something saying he can't believe Whiskey Whiskers is $17 for the race. I spoke to his owner, Shane, who's flying back from Sydney to come and watch, and I did mention that $17 is probably over, so good luck to him.
Did you sell that dog?
As a puppy? Yeah. Yeah. He picked the run litter.
That he has. How's the rest of them
gone? He's a tinny. Don't worry about that.
How's the rest of them gone?
Yeah, no, the whole litter go good. Yeah, but not as good as him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you've done well there.
So what are we doing here? I mean, what traumatizer are we going to get? Are we going to get 520 early traumatizer? Or are we going to get 503? I mean, box one certainly helps him, especially with the greyhounds, to use a little bit of the track next to him. Are you having a play here? I mean, I know you can't bet, but I mean, if you were to, where would you be leaning?
Possibly DeWanna Star.
Okay.
I thought he was good last week, and look, he doesn't have that much exposure to racing over 500 metres yet. So I think maybe if he can get down to 29.80, which is just basically already at, but maybe trim that up by a length, particularly with a turn of foot he's got. And speaking of traumatised, DeWanna Star's sort of speed between 50 to 200 metres is the best in the field.
Yeah.
So obviously he's got a bit to learn and improve on in his strength, but yeah, he's the value in the race if you're taking on traumatised.
Connections would not. They would have taken so much confidence out of that Star going forward. I'm not even talking about the Silver Chief, but the Australian Cup Carnival coming up. If they can keep him sound, they've got a serious animal with that speed that you speak of.
Yeah. So who do you think wins it?
Oh, look, it's so hard to go past traumatised. I mean, my heart's with the 5. I hope he well, but yeah, I'm a little bit with you. I think if the one does it, I think it could open up the race for a dog like DeWanna Star. Those other ones like Electrify and Vista Weird and Whiskey Whiskers, they're just going to have to rely on a little bit of luck.
Yeah. I'm with DeWanna Star and Ross the Boss. Geez, we wouldn't have seen him run down too many greyhounds in his time.
I don't think any.
He got the better of Intrepidus.
Yes, got a lot of speed. The whole litter do, actually, but his run was a little bit surprising, but he's always been a talent.
Yeah, and quite clearly, he'd be named after Ross Lyon, wouldn't he? Surely.
Has to be.
Well, you wouldn't believe it. Ross Lyon, named after the Australian, is doing some good things for Paul Galea. We've actually got some comments. There was a press conference here at the Meadows last Saturday night. This is what Ross had to say after the boss won his head to the Silver Chief.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to go and light a candle. Yeah, it's fantastic. I'll get a birthday cake out and go, yippee. No, no, I don't want to be flippant. I got all the Saints fans. Look.
So he's all over it.
That's
the boss.
fantastic.
He's getting involved. Then Ross the boss would jump with St Kilda colours on Saturday
Absolutely.
night. So maybe an omen there for all the St Kilda supporters out there who either love or hate Ross.
Don't
which
you
is,
love?
quite
Don't you love Ross?
polarising.
I'm a Ross lover. Are you?
Yeah,
I
well,
love
when we speak about being polarising and honest and banter and whatever it is in sport, which lacks in most codes, you appreciate what he does.
I think he had one presser where a little bit of levity. He just turned around and said, "Yeah, I've got to go home, watch an episode of Maths." Like, he just doesn't take it too seriously, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
Some of them are way too robotic.
All right, so there's the Silver Chief covered off, which of course will be tomorrow night at the Meadows. You can catch myself and also Michael Ty on Sky Watchdog app, Sky One, wherever you want to tune in. And all reports he dominated on the tip on Phoenix night, so the Duck has to back it up. All right, we've got a comment in here post Phoenix on distinction. This comes from Oz Tony. A dog such as distinction without a feature or city win isn't worthy of inclusion in a Group 1. Its inclusion ahead of far better performed dogs diminish the competition standard. Your thoughts on that?
Well, again, if you buy the slot, you can put who the hell you want in the race. I see she's in at Geelong tonight as a short price favourite. So probably, business as usual, going through her grades. It was just a hit at the stumps. I think they realise that, but she'll be fine.
I think it goes back to the slot holders can do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah, she's not getting picked in a Tem Lee.
No, and if they want to put a dog that's had just broken his maiden, throw it in.
Yeah, do what you have to
if
do.
you think you can win the race, which obviously they thought she was a chance to win the race. Speaking of greyhounds who are hot topics, and distinction has been that over the past couple of weeks. We've seen it in the past month or so, the old Spotify, this is my most listened to songs, listened to artist and whatnot, which, are you a part of that, George? I know you're a bit of a music buff.
Yeah, and it said that my average age of music I listened to was 1950 something or 72 or something, and my daughter was absolutely disgusted. There was a button that you press that
So you're going to argue that fact that's been stated by Spotify?
There is some 60 music there, but I'm not that old. Jesus. Anyway.
Well, sometimes the algorithms know more than what we know about ourselves.
That might be the case, mate.
I'll say no more. But anyway, it triggered my interest to go back and go to the numbers behind the Watchdog app, and which are the top 5 trainers that have been viewed most, and the top 5 greyhounds as well. So we'll go through the top 5 trainers, and you're not going to be surprised by this lineup. Number 1, Jason Thompson. Clearly the best lineup of greyhounds in Australia. Number 2, fellow Hawthorn supporter for you, Georgie, Anthony Azzopardi.
I seen he had a greyhound called Wizard Watson win here on things, so he's up and about. He's ready for a big 2026, Anthony.
And the Wizard's changed numbers as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, number 5. No pressure.
Who's carried number 5 in the past?
Sam Mitchell.
Oh, yeah.
Peter Crimmins. Very good players.
Number 3 was Tom Daly, as you would, with the amount of greyhounds he's got going around. And 4 and 5, this sort of surprised me, in which the combination of which come up. Bradley Greeno and then Jackie Greeno.
Yeah, well, Brad for the younger brigade, there'll be no doubt.
Yeah, Peter Myers and whatnot.
He'd be popular amongst those. So.
And then, wow, she's fast. I'm sure there's plenty going back on her career. And
there's no surprise.
Jay Greeno next to her name.
There would be a few trainers unhappy they're not on that list, though. Possibly.
Oh, this is the public and who they search up in the Watchdog app. All right, top 5 greyhounds. And this will surprise you, the first one, Georgie. Fernando Bale.
Yeah, big surprise. Yeah.
Oh, well, no one goes to the app and generally looks back at dogs historically. They're looking at current stars.
Oh, he defies logic, that dog. He's a Hall of Famer, obviously.
So he's number 1. Number 2, self-explanatory, explicit, as one of the dominant sprinters over the past 18 months. 3rd, Bernardo.
Probably the hottest sire going around right now.
4, this one stunned me. We're years past this greyhound being front and centre in the headlines. The Feral Frankie.
Again, mate, unbelievable. Carried the weight on his shoulders, that dog.
Yeah,
New South Wales.
5th was Tim Zoo.
Well,
so they're the top 5.
This was no surprise. This has been generated by Tim from Kilsyth.
Yeah, clearly. Is he watching this show anymore?
Well, I'd be disappointed if he wasn't. Yeah.
We haven't heard from him.
He's waiting for the Farrugia files, he told me. Anyway, let's see what happens.
Tim Zoo's going towards the Sale Cup, so he'll be up and about that.
There you
won't he?
go. There you go.
All right, let's move on. Now, speaking of these top 5 greyhounds and some names, sometimes we can get some pop-up of left field. And, Georgie, I was at home during the week, and I do love my YouTube. So I was laying there embedded through the subscription feed, and this vision is courtesy of retrospective Rick Bartlett, who puts up some absolutely incredible stuff. This was a video from the Footy Show. Now, I heard a little bit about this greyhound's existence, but not exactly as
Before
much
your
as what I
time?
learned. Yeah, before my time, safe to say. At least comprehending what's happening on the Footy Show. Probably wasn't, at least back in that era, presenting at a nature of which would be suitable to 4 or 5 year olds. I'd say, George.
Yeah. Oh, well, he could have got on. Probably. do a better job.
Anyway, let's take a look at this vision. I'm surprised this greyhound doesn't come up when it comes to popularity every year.
We'll get a dog ourselves, so I got one for you.
We've kicked up. We've got a greyhound.
We're just feeding, just a feeding on greyhound. Now, come here, come on. Come on, Naomi. No, we haven't named it yet. No, I'm sorry. There he is. That's our dog. Is he a good boy?
What is this fine specimen of greyhound?
Yeah.
I think
It is a boy.
The last time we had a dog in Studio 9, it was Graham Kennedy, I think.
No, what a
Not
beautiful...
Graham Kennedy, I mean on the Graham Kennedy show.
Is that
It's
a beautiful looking dog?
magnificent? What are we calling it?
Well, you know, Nads, how stupid. We're calling it You Idiot. This is You Idiot, and go You Idiot, that's right.
Go, you idiot. That's what was heard by the sidelines of the racing.com coverage on Saturday night in George's ear. Go, you idiot.
You
Do you remember those days?
Yeah, you couldn't get bigger promotion for the sport. In the Footy Show, the most popular show across Australia, back then it was just so huge. And he was a handy little dog too. I believe he won some races at Sandown and had a good turn of foot. Fantastic. It was great.
Hey, just before we move on from that, can we run that vision again? Just drop the volume on it. I want you to concentrate on the footwear of which Sam Newman is rolling with there on the set of the Footy Show, side by side, you idiot. So here's the vision.
We'll get a
now,
dog.
we'll drop the audio. Did you see what he was wearing, George?
No, what was he wearing?
Well, take a look over here. Look at that.
Oh, goodness.
He's in, what do they call it? Jeepers Creepers?
Yeah, that's
Fair
not great.
dinkum, Sammy.
That's not great.
You wouldn't get away with handling a grain in a race like that, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, the stewards would pull you up straight away.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, so that's You Idiot. And go back to retrospective YouTube. Credit for that vision and to take a look at the full segment, which includes G Bait at the bar next to Trevor
I was going to
Marmalade.
say Graham trained that dog.
He was involved. So good stuff there. All right. Now, we spoke last week about Valenzuela, who ran third in the Melbourne Cup, and I just could not believe going to your joint the other week, you didn't have bloody room on the wall for a Melbourne Cup heat-winning greyhound, but you had some other stuff on there, which we'll have another look at now, and this is just incredible. You wouldn't believe that a bloke as successful as George Farrugia would have this photo up in his man cave. There's the close-up. He's got his eyes shut. He's got an earring in. He's got a hair looking like a rugged carpet, mate.
It was my first winner.
Still haven't made
it
room.
was my first winner. That takes pride of place, that photo.
And since then, you gave a clip to the photographers last week.
Well,
You're saying you take a group of photos and you pick the one where I've got my eyes bloody closed.
What have you got?
So they've fought back. The photography union, led by Clint Anderson, has fought back. Take a look at this. Some shots which are probably from Melbourne Cup night, and you've got absolutely no idea what's going on. Your eyes are shut, and this isn't the same photo. This is multiple different photos, and you...
Well, you don't blink, Jason?
Well, I do. I don't do it in photos. That's probably the difference.
I thought Clint was a good bloke. He stitched me up right there, Clint. So, yeah. I'll try to be better, okay?
Well, you need that frame up, for Christ's sake, before the next episode next year.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. The Farrugia Files, which, of course, has been popular for a period of time. It has had varying levels of transparency and honesty over a period of time. I think it's been fair to say, George.
No, always been honest.
Okay.
You've just fallen into Tom Savalas' trap, mate, back on when we were on 927.
We'll
What do you want me
shout
to
out
do
to
here? Do you want me to go through a couple of them? There is a few.
Yes.
Johnny Football's in a Group 1 final at 5:20 p.m. tonight.
Okay.
Over the 5:20.
Can he
He's
win?
going for 11 in a row. It's been a terrific dog. Yeah,
Can he
I think
win?
he can, yeah. Charlestown is in the restricted final at Geelong tonight over 680. His run was really poor last week, so I don't know where he's at, but can run. I've
Good
got
boss at
4
the
in at
front.
the Meadows tomorrow. Manson Lamps, Joni Black, Set to Sizzle, and Sorella. I think Sorella's probably the best of them. We've got Summer Quinn in the Group 1 Paul Wheeler.
Ah, that's right.
She's no hope.
Jill Bolting.
And at the Q, I got Tempting Dash and Cause Celebra.
Tempting Dash,
they're
the
probably
famous
a
Tempting
chance.
Dash.
They're probably a chance, yeah.
All right, fantastic.
There you go.
We're almost about to wrap up here, Georgie. Is there much on your agenda over the Christmas, New Year period?
I look after all the food, so
What
I've got to go to
Dog food?
No, the food,
The family
human,
food.
the human consumption stuff.
Okay.
I go to Queen Victoria Market on Christmas and talk about getting pushed on.
Oh, so you don't cook it, you go and buy it.
Oh, well, seafood and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm picking up 2 big rolls of pork for my old man at a place as well. So No. Big antipasto.
Is that just an Aljana treat? Is it the old tabbouleh?
Do you go to Tabbouleh at Aljana?
I'm not even sure. I don't know what tabbouleh is.
The parsley salad. That wouldn't be in your wheelhouse. You're a well-done steak man.
Hell, you eating parsley salad for?
We have to bring this up right when we get into the segment in 2026. Need to start getting into some better food choices. Like well-done steak, really. We'll talk about that. We'll go through the world, and I can pick out food that you have to try and let me know how you go. Well, I want a rating out of 10.
Yeah,
Can we do that?
Yeah, well, if it's not sort of a fried variety box at Aljana, it's probably up against it. You know, that's the reality of what we're dealing with.
Guys, help me out here.
All right. So thanks for tuning in wherever you may be today and for last week. We're back in business, and I tell you what, we're half-assing this return, George. We're having a spell, or at least I am. You're not. You'll still be on the tools somewhat.
When are we back? January 9?
Well, we'll be back January 9. So in the meantime, enjoy not only what will be a good edition of the Silver Chief tomorrow night, but the Sale Cup as well, which is always intriguing.
Yes, yeah, it should be a good one. I think we've got some really good fields. There might be a couple of greyhounds that are racing this Saturday that might head over there, I reckon.
Okay. So for anyone who wants to get involved, feedback, show contributions, ideas, suggestions, whatever it might be, make sure you do so. We've got a new email address. This is how big this show is getting, George. grayareas@grv.org.au. So
mail.
odds on will be hate mail. There's always some interesting stuff comes through. Don't worry about that. And that's when you do have to have the thick skin.
You do. Merry Christmas to you, by the way.
Likewise,
and
my
to
friend.
Stevie. I don't know the rest of your family, but obviously,
Yeah.
Stevie's my man. So have a couple of quiet frothies.
And you've forgotten about the obscure multi. Which,
I've got an obscure.
You were big
yes.
on coming into today's
What
show.
about last week? Obscure multi. Kansas City, they lost by 3, and Steve Smith make a 50, and he got out with diarrhea, or he didn't even play. All right.
Must have been that Tabbouleh.
Mate, it's good Tabbouleh. 3-leg multi. We're going NFL. San Francisco 49ers to win, Detroit Lions to win, Atlanta Falcons to win. Shopping at around $3. Okay?
Get on.
Buy your Christmas turkey.
Responsibly.
Yes, responsibly.
Yeah. All right, that's a wrap for Grey Areas. Thanks for joining us once again for episode 2 of this new season. And as Georgie suggested, we'll be back on Friday, January 9, where we'll have a stack of stuff to get into George about. Probably myself, but everyone else out there as well. Have a safe Christmas, and most of all, make sure you find plenty of winners.